Over to you. Thank you very much. Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate the opportunity. For me, it's a great honor to be here with our distinguished panelists here today. And I'm especially honored to be here to present this session about education for all, using technology for great inclusivity. This is a huge, tremendous topic. I think we're all here for education for all. How to leverage technology to be able to get in the hands of all our kids, of all our users. That's a spectacular topic for today. I know we have a very tight schedule, so I would like to just jump on the questions and get directly on your policies and get directly onto what you're doing in terms of being able to bring technology and good education to all your students. So let's get rolling. I would like to start with Honorable Mohamed Sanoussi Samro, Minister of Secondary Education of Niger, which is right here. And I was looking a little bit about the numbers in your country. With a rapidly growing population of around 23 million, Niger is a vast landlocked country in Africa, as we all know, with many challenges such as dropout rates. What is your ministry response towards such a challenge? Especially, this ultimately impacts on the prosperity of the nation. So what are you doing in order to reduce the dropout rates in your country?
Je vous remercie pour nous avoir donné l'occasion de parler de l'échec scolaire, je dirais, dans notre pays. Effectivement, au Niger, il y a un taux élevé d'abandon scolaire, surtout en ce qui concerne la jeune fille. Mais à côté de ces abandons-là, il faut mentionner aussi les exclus, qui sont les exclus pour cause d'insuffisance du travail, qui sont un nombre important aussi, parce que rien que l'année passée, sur des effectifs de 710 000 élèves du secondaire, c'est-à-dire le collège et le lycée, il y a eu 151 000 exclus. Donc, que ce soit pour insuffisance de travail ou abandon. Mais le problème le plus crucial au niveau de l'abandon, c'est surtout au niveau de la jeune fille. C'est pourquoi le gouvernement du Niger a mis en place une politique de maintien de la jeune fille scolaire. Et pour ça, on a eu à prendre des mesures réglementaires pour protéger la fille qui est en âge de scolarité. Donc il y a eu des décrets qui ont été pris avec des arrêtés d'application pour protéger la jeune fille. En plus, il y a des mesures d'accompagnement. Parce que vous savez que le Niger, comme l'a dit mon collègue de la formation professionnelle, c'est un pays très vaste à connotation rurale. Donc beaucoup de filles qui arrivent au niveau du secondaire quittent leurs parents pour aller vers les centres urbains où il y a plus d'établissements du secondaire. Et c'est là que la fille rencontre plus de problèmes, surtout qui sont liés au tutorat. Des fois, donc, quand ils viennent là-bas, ils n'ont pas de famille d'accueil. Et les filles sont obligées des fois d'abandonner. Et là même, il y a des garçons qui abandonnent par manque de tuteurs. Et là, pour avoir ces tuteurs-là, le gouvernement, avec ses partenaires, nous sommes en train de donner des bourses pour soutenir ces filles-là. Et puis, nous sommes en train aussi d'appuyer les familles d'accueil pour accepter d'accueillir ces filles-là pendant l'année scolaire. Et avec certains partenaires, on va jusqu'à appuyer les familles des filles pour les convaincre à laisser leurs filles aller dans le centre urbain continuer leurs études. Mais le plus important, c'est surtout les allocations qu'on donne aux filles et les familles d'accueil. Donc voilà, à part effectivement les supports, les appuis qu'on leur donne pour avoir les manuels scolaires, pour avoir des kits d'hygiène en ce qui concerne les filles. Et Là, on est en train de discuter avec la Banque mondiale pour voir dans certains centres urbains comment est-ce qu'on peut construire et faire fonctionner des foyers pour des filles, pour accueillir les filles qui viennent au niveau du secondaire. Voilà donc en quelque sorte les mesures qu'on est en train de prendre pour accompagner non seulement la jeune fille, mais les garçons aussi pour atténuer les effets de l'échec scolaire.
Very good, thank you. I really appreciate your question. I see your country is working hard to try to reduce the drop-up rate. And I really appreciate what you're doing, working with the World Bank as well, bringing funds in, having a reliable and transparent way of handling information. It's absolutely great. The next question is for Honorable Dautaurin Monteiro da Costa, the Minister of National Education and Higher Education of Guinea-Bissau. And the question is about looking at the number of challenges, of course, in education. You have expressed recently a strong willingness to improve the education system by establishing a national educational plan covering the period 2017-2025. So it's kind of a long-range period. How are you ensuring that education for all, remember the topic of this panel is education for all in Guinea-Bissau, will have an impact on key indicators such as literacy and school attendance?
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I'm going to answer in Portuguese. Bom, o nosso contexto educativo, na verdade, está a passar por um processo muito interessante de transformação. Estamos numa fase em que temos alguns indicadores socioeducativos muito preocupantes, mas ao mesmo tempo vemos isso como um fator de oportunidade. Um dos grandes problemas que nós temos é justamente o acesso à escola. Há um segmento da população escolar ou a idade escolar que não tem acesso à escola. Temos que resolver isso, temos que criar mais escolas, mas há também o desafio de garantir um ensino de qualidade. E é aí que muitas coisas são exigidas em termos daquilo que deve ser a transformação social em termos de educação. Há vários níveis de trabalho que nós temos. Primeira coisa, vamos investir bastante a nível da formação dos professores. Porque o que nós temos que fazer é basicamente saltar de um modelo educativo do século XIX para um modelo educativo do século XXI. Isso implica que nós tenhamos investimentos a vários níveis. E os professores são a chave desse processo. Temos que investir na formação dos professores para que possam integrar no processo de ensino e aprendizagem as novas tecnologias de informação e comunicação e também que possam criar um determinado modelo de cidadão. Quando nós falamos de educação, nós falamos de um instrumento político também de criação de um modelo de cidadão. E o modelo de cidadão que nós queremos criar é um cidadão que seja eclético, que tenha múltiplas competências, ou seja, tem que dominar uma série de literacias diferentes, tem que ter literacia digital, tem que ter uma capacidade de interpretar o seu contexto, tem que ter uma capacidade de integrar-se em outros contextos para que, de uma certa forma, consiga produzir oportunidades e que também possa também aproveitar as oportunidades existentes. A nível da grande transformação que me colocou, sobretudo no que diz respeito à introdução das novas tecnologias, há aqui vários níveis que temos que considerar. Estamos a falar de um contexto que vai começar a entrar neste novo mundo das novas tecnologias no processo de ensino. Então temos que criar aqui uma situação que possa absorver as novas tecnologias. Então há várias dimensões que têm que ser trabalhadas. Uma das quais a primeira das quais tem a ver com a própria administração da educação, que tem a ver comigo, com o meu conselho diretivo e como é que nós gerimos a educação. E aqui, quando nós falamos das novas tecnologias, falamos de aumentar a eficácia e aumentar a eficiência do trabalho de gestão de todo o sistema. Então, o primeiro trabalho para garantir a absorção destas novas oportunidades é criar um quadro a nível da administração educativa que possa absorver. Posso dar muitos exemplos, posso dar 2 exemplos-chave daquilo que nós estamos a fazer. Por exemplo, a nível do Ministério, estamos a cada vez mais criar situações em que estamos ligados em rede para evitar o uso do papel, facilitar decisões, reuniões online, para garantir uma maior eficiência. Quando eu quero reunir com um diretor regional que está a 300 quilómetros da cidade, eu não tenho que o chamar, ele não tem que gastar combustível para vir. Temos que criar aqui condições para que eu possa ter uma reunião com ele online e possamos resolver as questões. E há um outro exemplo também muito interessante que tem a ver com a recolha e a sistematização de dados. Como vocês sabem, um dos nossos grandes problemas tem a ver com a informação, os dados socioeducativos, de modo porque às vezes quando nós estamos a trabalhar os dados já se desatualizam. O desafio de manter os dados vivos é sempre um desafio muito grande. Então, os inspetores, por exemplo, que vão no terreno recolher os dados, já têm uns tablets, introduzem os dados, mandam a informação e nós conseguimos ter informação em tempo útil. Portanto, isto é a nível da administração que estamos a introduzir. Para finalizar, a nível do processo educativo, tem que ser gradual. Claro que o meu sonho é que todas as crianças tenham um computador e que possam trabalhar com quadros interativos, mas tem que haver um processo para que esse investimento depois não caia por terra. E aí é que a formação dos professores é fundamental, para que depois garantam uma maior eficácia e eficiência na utilização desses recursos.
Great. Thank you so much for your answer. I need to ask our distinguished guests to try to stay in the 5 minutes time, otherwise we will not have enough time for all. But I would like to quickly summarize what you mentioned, which I really appreciate, to have political instruments to be able to handle the transformation, which I really like it, because we need to start from the top and then trickle down to the bottom. Of course, professional development for teachers is still crucial, and data collection, that's what you touched, it's absolutely the key to be able to transform our educational system. And the next question, so do appreciate your answer, is for Honorable Kwazi Mshengu, which is the MEC for Education in KwaZulu Natal province in South Africa. So you have completed the development and hosting of your e-learning portal in line with the Operation Pakisa. What training and ongoing professional development are you implementing for teachers in KwaZulu Natal, such as the technology that can bring about greater inclusivity? So inclusivity, equity, respect for diversity, these are all values that needs to be taken into consideration when we roll out new technology.
Thank you, and let me just give some short contextual background of the situation we're dealing with in KwaZulu Natal and South Africa as a whole. South Africa was colonized in a different way from the rest of the African countries, in a sense that the colonizers assumed the permanent settlement in the country. Hence we call it colonialization of a special type. And as they assumed settlement in the country, they also made sure that they condemned the indigenous people to the rural areas and townships areas that were deliberately underdeveloped. And that was the same with education. So So education that was given to African people, indigenous people in rural and township areas was a substandard education that was meant to simply equip them to be nothing more than the laborers of a particular race, the dominant race at the time, which was white race. And this continued for centuries. So 25 years into democracy, we are faced with that legacy to deal with, to uplift the standard of education of rural areas and township areas so that we achieve equal quality education for all citizens of South Africa. And our orientation as the province of KwaZulu-Natal has been to pay particular attention to the standard of schooling, to the standard of education in rural as well as in township areas. That is why we even launched our program of e-learning in rural schools, so that we allow our learners in rural schools not to be pressured to go to expensive private schools in urban areas where most of them can't afford, but they must get quality and equal education where they reside. And that is why we're deploying more technology in the rural as well as in township schools. And this technology which we have developed and deployed in a number of schools allows us to share tuition in a sense that we can connect different schools at once and have one lead teacher, a specialist in one center, or even at universities, because we are also partnering with universities. So you can have one professor at a university, but running tuition to 10 or more different schools connected through this inclusive or this technology, as it were. It also allows them to record these tuition classes so that at their own leisure, at homes and in other areas, they can be able to to revise, as it were. And this is part of uplifting the standard of education in these rural areas, because look, when you are in these areas, rural areas that were deliberately underdeveloped, most of the things you learn them through imagination. You will be told that a computer looks like this, and this is how you should use, but you can't touch it because it's not there. You will be told that a science innovation looks like this and all of that. So now we want our learners to stop being taught or learning through imagination, so that they can also expand their scope of thinking, expand their scope of solving intense complex problems, but also expand their scope of innovation, so that they help the country also to focus on what are possible skills that are needed for the future. Lastly, we also paying, as part of inclusive education, greater attention now to learners with special needs, disabled learners. We are establishing focus schools. In KwaZulu-Natal, we are already building a school with, for learners with autism. There are a number of other schools that are already in existence who are providing necessary resources and support, so that access is not only a matter of someone walking into a gate of a school or a classroom, but it should be access to quality education, as it were. So that is our orientation and the strategic posture of the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
That was really an amazing answer. And Ken, to summarize a little bit, what I like the most is the importance of rural areas that you mentioned a couple of times. So to give exactly equal opportunity to urban areas and rural areas. You know, we might have connectivity challenges. Some of the areas do not have internet. So, you know, at the country level or the regional level, you have to look into that as well. And of course, looking at special needs kids. That's the first time they're here talking about that, which is absolutely important. You know, talking about inclusivity, it means to offer good quality education for all. So I do really appreciate your answer. Next question is for Professor Hussaini. He's a Marte Commissioner. Given the number of challenges in Borno State, can you say how your government is redefining the provision of quality and accessible education to all children, including those internally displaced?
Thank you very much. Borno State has gone through savage Boko Haram insurgency in the last 10 years. So the last 4 years, we have been reconstructing the damaged infrastructure. And about 286 primary schools were destroyed. 38 secondary schools were destroyed. So if you look at the magnitude of this destruction, you will agree with me that the challenge is really humongous, not only for less privileged, but to everybody in that state. According to World Bank, it's going to take $6 billion US to fix the problems that these savages have inflicted on my state. So the government has a number of approaches. One, in terms of budgeting, just this Monday, the executive governor of my state allocated the largest share of the budget to education, over 17%. So through this funding, definitely we are going to re-engineer most of our schools. Secondly, we have built 42 mega schools. Each school accommodates 1,000 to 1,500 pupils. So it's primary schools and secondary schools. And in the state capital, we have 15 of such schools, and in rural areas, the rest. And unfortunately, we don't have access to this thing. Now, if you can Google mega school in Borno State, you will see these schools. They are world standard schools, and some of them are specifically for orphans, because we have thousands of orphans, and they are boarding schools. And these schools are equipped with solar panels and internet accessibility. So here, that's how the government is doing, using its budget. But also we have partners. The World Bank is assisting. European Union, it's also assisting. German government, United States governments. So all these countries and agencies are really helping to solve these problems of education, whether it's less privileged or the privileged, because all of us have been affected by this insurgency. There is no single family you will ask and you don't find someone either was killed or displaced. So we are taking a sort of holistic approach, building the schools, and then providing accommodation, especially for the orphans. Thank you. The other thing we are doing is really establishing even schools in the IDP camps. Because we have camps, some of the displaced individuals, they are kept in camps. So we have camps, schools for primary school children, and also my ministry has an agency of mass literacy. So we also educate the adults, because an uneducated person is more susceptible to join even the Boko Haram sect than someone who is educated. So these are some of the things that the government is doing to help not only internally displaced persons, but all the citizens of Borno State. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really a lot of challenges, and I'm glad to hear the 70% of the budget is being allocated for education. That's absolutely interesting. And the $6 billion assessed to rebuild the entire school system is really tremendous. But I think that what you mentioned, that through technology, some of the costs definitely can be reduced, you know, and to be able, as you mentioned, not to abandon any family. That's absolutely great. And that's, you know, in fact, the topic of this panel is education for all. So nobody should be left behind. I really appreciate what your government is doing in terms of education. Next question is for Lambert Ugorji, the Managing Director of Edo State Information Communication Technology Agency in Nigeria. Since becoming governor, you acted swiftly to intervene in the education sector, especially in primary and basic education. Can you summarize the key components of your program called Edo Best, Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation?
Good morning, all. I'd like to apologize. Mr. Governor is not around because he had to take an award from the university teachers last month, also for the National Union of Teachers in the country. And I think it's a recognition of the overall scope of what Mr. Governor looked at when he assumed office 3 years ago. He said, if I have 100 naira Nigerian money, I will spend 60 of that naira on basic education, because they are the foundation that would enable us to build skills that would be able to actually assume the future jobs that will be based on knowledge and technology. And the key way to achieve that is to use technology to bridge the cost, bridge institute standard, ensure that you are able to get teachers and headmasters attendance. You are able to get standard training for students, pupils in the class. So Edo Best, which is Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation, has 4 core objectives. And one of them is to enhance education using technology. The other one is to ensure that all children have access to technology. A third one is to engage the community. Without the community, you are basically building in vain, and from the experience that we've had before. And then to reenact. You have to reenact and revamp the technology so that it is almost institutionalized and education is taken for granted. We have 5 pillars of the Edo Best. The first one is to actually develop an organized strengthening of the education system. So you develop the whole program itself. Second one is to develop a curriculum that it's ongoing and takes advantage of technology. And a key component is the teachers. So the governor has, when the governor started his administration 3 years ago, he was advised to sack all the teachers and start hiring from scratch. He chose a different path. He chose a voluntary training path using technology. They started with 2,000 people, and now we have over 12,000 teachers that have been trained. And like I said, last month, the National Union of Teachers, over almost 500,000 people, teachers, gave him the Teacher Governor of the Year in Nigeria. And now the teachers not only have trust in Mr. Governor, they also now have the next level. There is a College of Education that is being revamped, where teachers get standard training so that they have the knowledge to impact onto the pupils. And then you have the, like I said, the community engagement. There's a 20,000 SBMC, which is School-Based Management Committee, that is set up to take ownership of schools. Mr. Governor refused to revamp or build any school unless the local community takes ownership of it. In fact, it was a contract that had to be signed. And once that was done, the schools were being rebuilt. And not to talk about the infrastructure. The school infrastructure are being remodeled where possible with support from the World Bank and related individuals that have decided to take ownership of schools or partner with schools. And the schools are looking a little bit more like a proper learning environment. Students are eager to come to school. There is about almost a 38% increase in public school enrollment. And the next stage now is what we call the post-primary education. So after Edo Best, we work with the Digital Academy International to bring many of the mobile devices and curriculum and content management system that we are using right now. And now we are going to what we call the Post-Primary Education Board, which is the junior secondary school and the secondary schools, because the governor didn't want to get to the point where people will get out of the primary schools with enlightened literacy, exposure to technology, and then they get down to the junior secondary schools and they are flushed. They are unable to really follow. So now we are working very closely with the PPEB to actually take the bridge and now put them onto the Post-Primary Education Board. As a matter of fact, last year, we had partnership with SAP where 131,000 students in the junior and senior secondary school were exposed to Scratch, SAP Scratch solution. And they thought it was a fluke. This year, they came again, and we have 205,000 pupils that are exposed. So we are preparing them for the technology hunger, and as they come out from the basic primary school section, they will come into the secondary school ready for Mr. Governor's wait and see achievements.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. I see a lot of challenges here, but I see a lot of solutions as well, which is great. In particular to enhance technology for all, revamping technology, and one of the key indicators that I really like is to invest in teachers. So professional developments, make sure they're up to date in terms of understanding technology, being able to leverage and use technology in the classroom. Now, for the sake of time, I really would like 1 minute answer for a general question for you all, and go one by one, so we're respectful of the agenda that we have here. The question is the following. What are, and I would like to start from here and go down to the end of the line of our distinguished guests. What are the promising models of digital technology in education to improve the access to education of the most vulnerable and marginalized ones? So using technology, again, technology for all. How can we reach the reachable? How can we reach the voiceless? How can we give a voice to the voiceless in our communities, leveraging technology? 1 minute answer, please. Would you like to start?
Merci. Effectivement, l'utilisation de nouvelles technologies peut aider les élèves les plus défavorisés à avoir plus accès à l'éducation. Mais les nouvelles technologies aussi ont un coût. Et c'est là, au niveau de nos pays, nous sommes confrontés à ces problèmes-là de financement. Nous sommes, comme l'a dit mon collègue, le Niger est un pays du Sahel, comme vous le connaissez très bien, et c'est un pays peut-être dans quelques années qui sera exportateur du pétrole, qui aura peut-être des ressources pour le financement de ce genre de projets. Mais pour le court terme, ça serait difficile, en tout cas, de généraliser l'utilisation de nouvelles technologies. C'est vrai, c'est un idéal pour nous, et au XXIe siècle, on sera obligé d'aller vers l'utilisation de ces nouvelles technologies. Mais à part le support qu'on nous propose, c'est-à-dire les tablettes, les ordinateurs, il y a aussi la connexion Internet, il y a l'énergie qui cause problème au niveau de certaines localités de notre pays. Dans les zones rurales, on n'a pas la connexion, on n'a pas l'énergie, donc c'est difficile de faire fonctionner les nouvelles technologies. Sinon, c'est un idéal. On est en train déjà d'expérimenter ça dans le centre urbain, dans certaines écoles.
Thank you. Thank you. Same question to you, sir.
Well, we have the digital model we called Office 365. As I indicated, it allows what we call shared tuition, where different schools of the remote rural areas of our province are able to connect at once and get either a lead teacher or a professor or whoever and expect a running tuition at once. Because we still also have a problem of attracting and retaining highly skilled and capable teachers in our rural areas. But this facility also allows us to record these tuitions so that learners can later on do revisions on their own. We are now building within this facility other capacities where we will not really need connectivity for learners to access digitized books as well as recorded videos, which may include also what is called experiments, as it were, particularly around the science subjects. So this package will also allow learners in rural areas where we still don't have connectivity to be able to access the same digitized books like all other learners, the same recorded messages, but also be able to run tests on their own through this facility, which will not require connectivity in those rural areas. We must indicate that the issue of connectivity still remains a challenge. It's quite expensive, we must say, and obviously we welcome any sort of partnership that can assist us to reach out to those areas, but we premise from the standpoint that all our partnerships, be it from the private sector or anywhere else, should have a human face. And by a human face, I mean to say they should not be exorbitant, such that basically they are milking out government, because education is a business of everyone. The skills that the private sector requires should come through this process of education. Great. So we all have a role to play, and we must give a human face in all our initiatives and endeavors.
Thank you for your answer. So taking into account the offline solution, that's absolutely important. Sir, the question for you about the models of digital technology.
We don't have any models of digital technology in education in Borno State. As I mentioned, we are just starting and we are in a recovery phase. But the government of Borno State established a new Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. And the commissioner of that ministry is with me here. He's in the audience. And we met with 5 different companies yesterday in the afternoon. And we are meeting with 6 today. And we'll know the capabilities of these companies and their programs or platforms. And we know our needs. So when we go back home, we'll sit down and evaluate what they have. And then we'll pick 1 or 2 that will solve our problems. But the type of platforms we need should be student-centered, should include training of teachers, not only teachers, but also our own ICT experts, so that eventually we are going to own that particular system. And additionally, it has to be cost-effective. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate your honesty in saying that you're exploring opportunities out there in order to build a better educational system. Sir, same questions for you.
Yeah, special thanks to His Excellency Governor Godwin Obaseki. Edo State digital economy model was referred by the World Bank this year on the Nigerian report to be the case model to follow for practically all states in the country. What we've done is we've created the most integrated fiber spread within Benin City, which is the capital city, where we have fiber 500 meters close to every school in the city. We have fiber meters close to every hospital. So we are doing a partnership with Facebook and Main One. We are also now connecting 4 schools on a pilot basis to connect fiber directly into the schools. The basic education schools teachers have the largest Facebook account, and that Facebook is even excited about that. They've come to Nigeria to try to introduce Facebook Workplace in Benin City. So currently we are using Facebook Workplace to actually manage the daily operations of the SUBEB, which is the State Universal Basic Education Board. So we are extending that fiber spread to the other cities. We anticipate in the next 24 months we should have the 18 local governments of the state covered with fiber, at least the 18 local government head offices. And then we are able to spread it either through wireless or microwave where needed. We're going to be able to connect 100 schools next year. That's already in the budget. So I think the acceptance of technology in the state is taken for granted now, because we apply these both in the agriculture sector and in other sectors within the state. But education has been the main driver that is enabling us to speak with technology in particularly all phases of our operations in the state.
That's great. Leveraging social media for education is absolutely a great idea. Sir, same question for you about the best technology that you are adopting or thinking to adopt in your area.
A questão é interessante porque remete-me para uma outra questão, que é aquilo que eu tive que responder a mim mesmo. Tecnologia para quê? Não é? Isto, quando nós vamos responder a essa questão, nós começamos a olhar para o nosso contexto. Na verdade, nós estamos numa fase muito embrionária, em que o desafio é criar aqui uma cultura de acolhimento das novas tecnologias e, ao mesmo tempo, de fazer reconhecer que a introdução das novas tecnologias garante, sobretudo, uma emancipação no acesso ao conhecimento, garante uma democratização no acesso ao conhecimento. Então, tendo em conta os parcos recursos que nós temos e tendo em conta o facto de o aspecto cultural ainda não estar assegurado, a nossa visão neste momento é criar, dentro do próprio espaço virtual do Ministério, espaços de consulta tanto para os professores como para os alunos. Porque no nosso contexto da Guiné-Bissau, embora as pessoas não tenham computadores, mas toda a gente tem um telemóvel. Embora a conectividade não é boa, mas toda a gente consegue aceder às redes sociais. E a ideia é explorar aquela cultura para que, de certa forma, começar a criar uma outra dinâmica. E criando uma plataforma do Ministério onde estejam disponíveis recursos didáticos, tanto para os professores como para os alunos, poderão ter um acesso e gerar ao mesmo tempo esta cultura de imersão na tecnologia. Mas é uma fase ainda embrionária, nós estamos a iniciar aqui um processo.
Great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We have a final video to conclude the panel, but before we play the video, I just want to let you know a little bit what we do. And I'm glad somebody mentioned the importance of this forum to put together the needs and the technological offer, and make sure the technological offer that is out there would meet the needs of every specific country. To throw technology to kids without a specific vision in mind, without a specific political impact and a long-term vision, it would not make sense. We at Genius Plaza think that the values must be embedded into everything we do. Everything must be culturally relevant. We talk about the importance of equity. We talk about the importance of multilingualism, multiculturalism. You know, when you travel the world, you have to make sure that everything you do is customized to everybody's needs. One of the things that came up during the conversation was the ability to detect what's not working in our system. And you know, I always think about our states or our countries as a human body, you know, and we are the doctors. If you don't have a system that would be able to detect what's going on, you wouldn't be able to provide the right medicines, right? And precise an intervention that would be able to that specific area of the body to become functional as it used to be. At Genius Plaza, we offer a student information system that would enable you to give all the kind of information, to do precise intervention where it's needed to be done. I mentioned yesterday, and let's close with this, and I would like to give it to you as a food for thought. Can we disrupt the world of education as the banking system was changed recently using applications? Remember, a few years back, everybody was banking through regular banks. Nowadays, here in Africa, in most countries, all the banking transaction happens through a phone. Can we adopt exactly, that's what we have in mind in Genius Plaza, can we adopt exactly the same concept to education, change entirely how we handle the educational business through applications, through phones. You know, our younger population are basically born with a phone in their hand if you think about it. Can we put a nice, good system that is culturally relevant, that is respectful of equity, and takes into account multilingualism? Everything we do, it's in 80 plus languages. So I think that I would like to close with this, and I really appreciate your thoughts. There is a lot of ideas that we can bring back home here, a lot of challenges as well, and I would like now to close with a short video. Thank you, Ben.
Genius Plaza is user-friendly. The kids were able to just take it and run with technology. It gave them the option of creating not just books, but a wide variety of different things that they could create.
I like Genius Plaza because learners are enjoying how to use computers, how to communicate with other learners from outside Zimbabwe. Thank you so much.
I like the Genius Plaza platform because it allows the students to see the different activities that they're able to do, and they can choose, or the teacher can choose which Spark they want their students to create. So it gives a lot of options. I like how on Genius Plaza the students are able to upload their own materials, and they're very independent and able to upload their Sparks or whatever one that they choose to do, and other students can view their Spark also. I just think it's a great program to have students show what they learned and to be able to collaborate with other countries.
It's a very exciting program to the learners and to me as a teacher. It is time saving. I can give the learners some tasks to do, they carry them home, and I will have some time to look at them during my own spare time.
Through Genius Plaza, I could have a friend and I could visualize humanity outside of my community. And it gives me the platform to share poetries, written pieces, ideas, projects in a way that is far-reaching.
Genius Plaza helps in the class. When the teacher is even away, the children can learn on their own.
Genius Plaza is fabulous.
Big round of applause for our panelists here. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you.